Hello everyone, welcome to Black Cats TV / Only Fools and SAFC / Michael Bauer's channel, all at the same time. It's crazy. As you can see, we're joined by a great panel of Sunderland fans here. Wayne, Dorran, how you doing, Wayne?
I'm very good. Thank you very much for having us on. It's great to be part of this new setup. Thanks to everybody, and hope everybody's tuning in from my channel, Only Fools and SAFC. Good to see you all. I can see some in the chat already, so welcome and enjoy the show.
Excellent, thank you, Wayne. And Michael Bowers, how are you doing?
Not doing too badly. Hopefully you and Conrad are doing okay, and thanks very much to having me on as part of this. It should be pretty good. And as you can see, to everyone who is on my channel, I can see there's about 13 people watching already, so just go and subscribe to Only Fools SCFC and also Black Cats TV as well. Just get the plug in there straight away.
Too kind, Michael, too kind.
There you go. All the channels are at the top of the screen, as you can see. So feel free to write them down, take a note, and then go and subscribe to them all afterwards as well. I best say hello to Conrad. He's down there waiting. Hi, Conrad. How you doing?
Hi, mate. You all right?
Yeah,
we've already done our bit, Mike, so you can just carry on. You're all right.
Well, gents, so it's a new open forum format. I have everyone's chat from everyone's channel next to me here, so if you'd like to ask any questions to anyone in the panel or to us in general, feel free to pop them in there. If we don't answer straight away, I will highlight them and we'll come back to them at some point as we're talking through. So first point of call is Wayne's Sky Sports debut. It's got to be talked about, right?
Sky Sports Wayne, as he's now known.
After the Sky Sports Wayne. Thank you very much.
Very good clip. Watched it.
It was nerve-wracking. You know, it's all right sitting behind you, talking to the phone or whatever, you're talking to the camera, but when you're sitting in backstage and you've got producers talking in your ear and telling you where to position your camera and stuff, it was nerve-wracking. But once I got on, it was all right. You just got to try and be as honest as you can and just be as you always are. And I think it went all right. I mean, it was only 3 minutes, but it felt like half an hour. But
that's the best type of nights, Wayne, when it's 3 minutes, but it feels like half an hour.
She's never said that.
It's normally the other way around.
Yeah. So, Wayne, I'm curious because I've done radio, but I've never done TV. Is it the same thing where you can hear the broadcast going on and you're waiting for it to be cut in? Is that what's going on?
So it's just that you get a Zoom link, so you join the Zoom, and then the producer just comes across. Can you hear us? Can you see us? And all that sort of stuff. While you're watching the program, and they come back and say, right, you're live in 2 minutes after this, and then you just appear on the screen. So it's very surreal. It's very strange, but it was great fun. I hope it did enough to get us back to do a few more.
Yeah, get some more plugs in next time, Wayne. Get some more plugs in.
Behind us, TV, Michael Bowers,
like a scroll advertising everything. On the national audience, yeah. While you're at it, just insert the Sunderland YouTube channels at the bottom of the screen, yeah, so everybody can see it.
Visions of him coming on the screen like Wayne's World, where he's on all the Pepsi gear, but in all the branded stuff.
You mean just go like, so, Sky Sports breaking news, Crystal Palace 0, Sunderland 0. Also, Only Fools and SCFC, Black Cats TV, Michael Bowers. Please go and subscribe to all of these on the bulletin at the bottom of Sky Sports.
Well done anyway, Wayne. You did yourself credit. It was really good. Should have given you longer. Should have given you more time. Definitely. Hopefully they'll have you back after that format.
Fingers crossed.
I mean, can I just say very quickly? Sorry, they tried to get him to go. Well, surely now you've started so well that survival's not just the aim anymore. I was like, no, still the same.
I wasn't falling for that one. No.
Should have me on. I'd have gone Europe.
Perfect.
Aye, Mike's just gonna sit there and go. So we're going to go to Borat FC away for like the Europa Conference League or something next season. Carry it, or whatever the team's name's called.
At the moment, our chat's just watching four mates catching up, so I apologise for that. Let's get on to football sort of thing. The Crystal Palace game we'll start with, obviously. 0-0. I mean, last season, 0-0 would have all been like doom and gloom. But good result, right, Michael?
Very. I mean, if you look at it, well, at least someone called Dortmund in my chat loved the Borat FC thing, so that's pretty good. There we go. Great success for anyone who's seen Borat. There you go. Let's not go into the rest of the movie because it probably won't be very family friendly.
We'll get Borat,
to say the least. But it's a great film, but it's not appropriate for kids. But either way, no, the draw itself was really good. I've said on my own channel, I've said it quite a number of times across social media that, Crystal Palace beat Man City. Remember in the FA Cup final just a few months ago, they beat Liverpool in the Community Shield. Now, I didn't watch the full game, but from what I heard, apparently Palace were the better side in that against Liverpool. That's no mean feat. Obviously, they're in the Conference League, and if it weren't for some off-field issues or some controversy surrounding it, they might have been in the Europa League. So, for us, and remember, like Chelsea, for example, didn't beat them at Stamford Bridge either. So to go to Palace away and get a very hard-fought 0-0, I think is really encouraging to prove that we can compete. Obviously, as Wayne will know, and I'm going to say the same as well, we're not falling for the fact that, like what Michael try and convince us that Europe's happening next season. But we'll just say that, look, it's a long way. Yeah, you can try, Mike. I'm not falling for it yet. If after 34 games we are where
Exactly.
we are, then I might believe it. But But
tune in for episode 34.
Hey, Paul, Mike says, "I told you so" for Europe. Yeah. Honestly, the result was really good. I mean, look, we did have a little bit of luck in the fact that Jeremy Pino at the end of the first half has a one-on-one that he misses, which if that goes in is different. But by the same token, if Mayenda scores at Burnley, then that game's different. So you can say that logic about any game. And Roofs is proved to be Superman on steroids in the second half of some of the saves that he was making. And don't get me wrong, I'm someone who's a fan of Anthony Patterson and doesn't believe that he deserves some of the levels of stick he gets. But Roofs, if these first 4 games are anything to go by, Roofs is a clear upgrade. And then sadly, it's ruthless is the word that we had to be when we went up to the Premier League. But Roofs was a big reason. Yeah, ruthless. There, yeah, that was good. That actually, that should have been the title. Midweek Mackems episode 1, ruthless. But honestly, we had to be ruthless for the Premier League. But all joking aside, yeah, I felt a bit for Patterson. But if you want to stay up, you need to be sort of cutthroat in what you're doing. But overall, really good. And on top of this as well, the only thing that was annoying me slightly was that Chelsea were bottle jobs in the kickoff. As me and Conrad were doing a live ourselves while that game was on. So like, yes, get it 2-1. Oh, for God's sake, it's 2-2. But other than that, I mean, what was it? West Ham got battered. Leeds lost in the last minute, which was one of the most bizarre own goals I think I've ever seen in my life. Burnley.
You've not seen Santiago Vergini? Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, no, but maybe.
Yeah.
It's like just impersonate, do his in it. I don't even remember who scored the own goal, to be honest.
Goodmanson, I think it was.
Goodmanson, there you go. So he clearly had a bet on to be like Santiago Vergini with his head. West Ham got battered, Leeds lost. Burnley, albeit I thought were actually very good against Liverpool, still got beat. Obviously Brentford drew, which is a little annoying, and Wolves lost. So it's not often I want them lot up the road to win, but when they're playing against a side that's around us, or going to likely to be around us, I'm like, I think I'm thinking about us staying up first and foremost. If we do get to a point later in the season, say by February, where we are still like 6th or 7th in the league, then I might believe, Mike, that a European tour might happen. No, but as for Saturday, very good result.
There we go. None of us need to say anything. Michael's just said it all.
Yeah, expertly put, as usual.
Yeah.
As usual.
I've got nothing to add to that.
Well, Conrad,
thanks very much for watching, everyone.
This is just the Michael Bauer show's 3-year audience. No,
on
roofs, Conrad, and stuff like that. It's still a good position for Patterson to be the second keeper at a Premier League club at his age, though, right?
Yeah, sure. I mean, he's got to be learning from, because we always said last season the thing that let him down was coming out and claiming the ball, as we saw it was at Hull at home, and I think we were on about it at Ellen Road, where he could have come out and been a bit strong with them, and we always knew that was his sort of, I don't want to say sort of shortcoming down foot, but it was just the weakest part of it, shall we say? No.
Just no.
The weakest part of his game, where shot stopping was a really good part. But as we've seen, Roofs has come in and shown that he's a great shot stopper, he's a great penalty saver, and he commands this area and flies off his line like no tomorrow. The chance that Pino missed in that first half was partly missed because Roos gave him no time to take a touch and set himself. He was already about a metre or two away from him by the time. So he saw that ball coming through and thought, I'm not waiting for him to set himself. And like some keepers might sort of take a position, try and guess which way it's going to go. He was just like, I'm just out. I'm out and I'm big, and just see if you can do it. And it was just a real sort of like, the chance was over in a split second because of how quick it was. You didn't even have a chance to realise that he was through before he'd missed, sort of thing. And then in the second half, just, one of those days where I think they could have thrown absolutely everything at him. And it was the one that really summed it up was the one where Mateta hit it and it just hit him. and just
the
went up
shoulder.
straight.
I
Yeah,
think that was an actual. When you see it back, he actually does that. I think
He
it's an
lifts
actual
his
proper
shoulder.
save.
Yeah,
If it
he
is,
does.
that's
He shoulders
impressive.
into it. That's what
Yeah,
I
he's
thought.
only got
Yeah.
like
It's
one
not-
split second to react, doesn't he?
Yeah, so,
Which
well,
is
even
mental.
better then. And it just felt like, nothing's going in. As much as we've all probably sat here and gone, Sunderland defending a point or 3 points with like 10 minutes to go. We've all been on this ride before and we know how it ends. It felt like that met the what do you call it? The immovable object met the rock sort of thing, and it just wasn't a
You mean
hard
the
place,
unstoppable
whatever it is.
force meets the immovable object?
That's
That's
it.
the one.
That analogy
Of
is
course,
much
I'm going to
better.
quote The Dark Knight. It's my favorite movie of all time. So
That analogy where Sunderland messing it up in the end met Roofs on absolute flames, and Roofs thankfully won it for us and got us a fantastic point in probably our hardest game so far this season.
Can I just say, by the way, Mike should have literally got, and I'm not a big fan of this franchise, but I know how popular it is. Mike should have got the clip of Gandalf saying, "You shall not pass."
As long as he doesn't have to miss the blobby clip, that's fine.
I'm banned from clips. Mr. Blobby got overplayed and Conrad got really upset. He sent me a cease and desist letter from a lawyer and everything. So
yeah, it's
before we
appropriate
jump
when
in,
he scores.
yeah, before we jump into some comments, Wayne, the Crystal Palace game. Obviously, the lads have mostly touched on everything there. We saw Brobby for the first time though. Much of an impact? What did you think of him seeing him, or did you not see enough? You think?
You can see he's not fit yet, Mike. I don't think he's played virtually any pre-season or now, as he saw. You would see he was miles off the pace. I think it'll probably be a while before we see him in the starting lineup. But if we can get him back to the Broby of a couple of years ago, we've got to sign him. He had an off season last season. He had stuff going in his private life, didn't he? So he's come here with a point to prove. He's come here with trying to get his career back on track. So hopefully, when he gets himself fit, we've got another option up front. I think Labrie said he's something different to what we've already got to Isidore, to Mienda. So he looks a unit. I think in training his legs are like tree trunks, aren't they? He's got looks like a right shot behind him. So, so I think he's going to be a good addition. Just need to get him fit. Just on Palace as well. I mean, that's only the second time that they haven't scored at home since November last year. So that's
wow, really.
So. And both games, I think both games they didn't score, was that a man sent off or something at the time. So in both games, so that's just shows how good a performance it was. I think first half we more than matched them. We just couldn't in the final third. We just couldn't get that little connection to create a few chances. But overall, a fantastic point. And like what Michael says, probably our most important game of the season. I think it's a good test of how far we have come against a side who in Europe this season won 2 trophies, and we weren't outclassed by any stretch of the imagination.
On the striker front, Wayne, for the Palace game, Isidore over Mienda, was that a mistake to start with?
I had a feeling he would play just because he's come off the bench and scored 2 goals. I would have preferred to have played him on the left. If Lafayette was injured, I would have put Isidore on the left and I would have kept Mienda up front. But I'm still not convinced of Isidore. I know he's come on and scored 2 goals, but I don't think he's an out-and-out forward going to lead the line for us. I just don't think he's got that presence.
Super sub.
I think he is that, but I just haven't watched him. He seems to have more of an impact off that left-hand side as well because he's strong, he's direct, he can run at people, and he'll also put a cross in. So I just think he might be more effective on that left-hand side.
Conrad, you championed Isidore to start this game as well. You said that was probably going to happen. Were you happy with what you saw?
It was a similar sort of thing. So the reason I sort of was saying I think he should start over Mienda is because the one thing we've not been great at this season, if I'm being critical of anything, is creating chances for the forwards or getting the ball to them. I mean, we gave Mienda 1 chance in the West Ham game, and he did put it away with the header, of course. We gave him a chance at Burnley, which he didn't put away, and he probably should have done. Whereas Isidore came on, I think he did half an hour combined in the 2 home games, and he's got 2 goals for it. And of course, West Ham were piling forward, chasing the game at 2-0, and he took advantage of that position. But then he did a great header on the last man for the Brentford one and was in the right position. And when he came on, he had a chance where he sort of swung a leg at it, but missed the ball as well. But he was getting in the right positions to have a go. And if we remember back to that Brentford game, Mienda wasn't really involved in the game, and that's not a knock on them. I think the thing that we've missed so far is getting the ball to them and sort of giving them that opportunity. And I was sort of thinking that Enzo was going to be that one, and he created quite a lot against Brentford, but not something for the strikers necessarily, or like bits of play. And I was quite looking forward to seeing him against Palace and giving us something, but obviously that the injury happened and he couldn't. But I agree with Wayne. I think if you're going to start Isidore, I think he goes out left at the moment. But then it's that thing of which we might come on to, is the Talby and Adingra situation, and who we drop out of those ones and how long Enzo's out for.
Lots of difficult decisions in there. Let me go to the comments before I lose track. I won't be able to pull up them all. I'll try and pull up. If you guys see any that you want to pull up, just give us a shout, give us a wave. You guys are watching on Wayne's channel and Michael's channel as well. You can use the super chats in their channels. It'll get highlighted on mine as well, so that's always an option there. Our very own Emma's in there, says, well, hello you all. So
Hello,
hi,
Emma.
Noah Gammon says is recycling the Peter Reid song for Cheer Up Reggie Labrie, so I quite like
Very
that
good.
one.
Can I just say the imagination of some of our fans is mental.
I'm still waiting to see a Mr. Blobby costume in the crowd. I've promised them a shirt if it happens.
Hat-trick in the derby and I'll do it.
I'm going to get mine out the cupboard. I'm getting mine out the cupboard for Sunday.
Yeah. Well,
I'll send you a Black Cats TV shirt, Wayne. You can wear it on your channel.
Maybe say if we finish in a European place this season, we'll set up a GoFundMe for Mike to have a Mr. Blobby costume for next season at a game.
He has to do all streams in it.
Absolutely, of course, got a big caveat.
No, my luck would get that all together, get it all set up, and we'd sell him.
Yeah.
WS Beefy says, evening lads, missed these types of nights. Where do you think we need to strengthen in the January transfer window, says Marco. I'm going to highlight it. We'll come back to it. I'll highlight the question. We'll come back to it. Let me get through the comments first. Have a think of that. We'll come to that in a second. Barring the goalie, what's your best back four? That'll be the following question. About 10 wins to give us a great chance of stopping up. To be fair, we've got a look at Villa on Sunday as a major chance to get a third on board. No excuses. We saw that one. We don't need to go into that in depth.
Next.
Trauma-inducing comments. Roof so far best keeper I've seen in a Sunderland shirt in my time, other than Pickford, Manone, and Gordon. Best other than him, and him. You missed Lionel Perez. What's going on?
Lee Camp. What's going on here?
I know. I mean, where's Jason Steele's nomination?
Oh, we've had some shockers.
Yeah.
All the same movies, blokes running around either leather in their underpants. Sunderland city centre has enough of those people roaming around talking about the superhero references. It's you guys that make these streams awesome. Robin Roos, what a player he is. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets player of the season by the time end of the season comes. I mean, it's early doors, but yeah, definitely he's probably ahead of the polls when it comes to that right now. Where do I get one from? I'll put Benjamin in it for his 18th. Mr. Blobby costumes. We're going to increase the sales on Mr. Blobby costumes alone. I've got a couple of we'll circle back. There's loads of comments, guys, so sorry I can't get to them all. Where do you think we need to strengthen in January transfer window, or if at all yet? Who would like to go first? We'll go Conrad first.
Okay. I think it kind of follows on from what I was saying about the previous. I think we need to creativity and getting someone who can create something out of nothing. A bit like when we bought Sessegnon all those years ago, and he just gave us that sort of little half passing behind players, or just even a sort of shot from distance himself. I know we were trying to get a couple of wingers in January that sort of didn't come to fruition really. And obviously we haven't seen Traore yet to sort of make judgment on him as well. But I really think we need some creativity, and whether that's a number 10, but Labrie doesn't tend to play a 10 in his system. So I think it's more likely a creative winger is what I think we are lacking at the moment without seeing Traore.
Okay, fair enough. Michael, where would you strengthen, if anywhere?
Probably out wide, only because I think that was right winger was the area that apparently we were still really looking at. And obviously Bertrand Traore is there, but I think we've took a chance on him as a punt, which might end up working, to be fair. It's difficult to answer that right now because probably when you get to like November, December is when you have a better chance of answering that properly, more accurately. But I would say probably like a right winger, because that's the one area in the end of the window that I thought I really wanted to search. And when I say right winger, I mean like a top elite level right winger if we could afford one. To me, and I can't remember if he plays on the right or the left for Liverpool, but I think he might be on the right. Harvey Elliott, for example, who's gone on loan to Aston Villa with an obligation, I think. That's a deal I would have liked us to have been all over. But I appreciate that from Liverpool's perspective, it's much less likely that Villa go down than Sunderland. So they might think, well, the 35 million they're going to get is pretty much guaranteed then, unless Villa have an absolute stinker of a season. But that's the type of deal I would have liked. Or, as everyone loves to go on about Amad Diallo, even though I keep trying to not to let myself get carried away, because I'd be astonished if there's anything in that. But that would be the one area I would think.
We release an Amad rumour once a week. It's just a religion now.
Oh, I bet it is. Well, yeah, you're the eternal optimist, though. So you'll say that he'll sign a 5.5-year deal in January, and you'll be the hat trick.
He'll only sign that if the United manager goes. There's no way he's staying if the fat guy's staying around either.
Well, yeah, we'll wait and see. Well, I was going to say, I wish they'd kind of kept Ten Hag a bit longer, because then maybe when we got promoted, they could have thought, hang on, we might have a chance of signing him now. Oh, wait, Almiron plays him. Never mind.
He's only playing because Cunha's injured, though. So as soon as Cunha comes back in, they'll be trying to shoehorn him into places he isn't there for. And
that's it.
I just sort of get the feeling that we're just waiting, like with that guy who the girl they want is with somebody else, but you're just there waiting for him to make a mistake, that sort of thing, and then you can swoop in, that sort of thing.
You're the friend going shopping with a Conrad, is that what you're saying?
I'm the friend that's like no danger, and then she comes crying at the door one day, and I'm like, what happened? No. Oh, that guy.
Oh,
no, I always answer the door in my Speedos.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Amad, what happened? What, Almiron doesn't rate you? Oh, why did you come home to the statement like? Why did you come home, you Ivorian sweet prince? Come on.
Yeah.
All right. So basically, what we're saying, so that there you go. There's where we need to strengthen. Get Amad Diallo in January. All our problems are sorted.
Okay. Wayne, should we strengthen, if anywhere?
Like Michael says, it's quite difficult to kind of answer that at the minute, but I still don't think we've addressed the striker situation. Myself, I think we've got these players with potential. Broby, we know that he's done it with Ajax, but I'm still not convinced he's over his problems. Mjenda, I did tip him to get double figures this season, but from what I've seen the first 2 or 3 games, we haven't given him the service, and he doesn't really get into the game as much as he should. Isidore, we've already mentioned about on the left, so I would still like us to have getting that proven centre forward. Now they're hard to get and probably cost you a fortune, but I would like us to be getting that. I mean, I don't know, Geehy, even seeing him or Q, however you see it, I still wasn't convinced about him, and he scored in the cup, but he didn't have any pace for me.
Gio. Right, I was sitting there going, Gio.
When you say Geehy, I thought you meant the Palace centre back. I was like, wait,
I was like, are we in for him? I was like, bloody hell, I missed that. That would have been 10 videos.
The only problem is he might want to go to an elite level club.
Are we not elite level? Are we not elite level?
Well, I like your enthusiasm, Wayne. Clearly, you've been around Mike for too long.
We're definitely elite. But I mean, I kind of agree with that. Where I don't think we need to specifically strengthen anywhere right now. It's always good to have more defenders because we like to injure them regular. But I'd like to see, if we're going to spend some money, don't go out and get 5 or 6 £20 million players. I'd like to see 1 or 2 big signings, like we got Xhaka.
We didn't need another 5 or 6 players now.
No, exactly. But like we got Xhaka, I want something that we get in January that's shock and awe kind of thing. Because if you look at, according to Transfer Market, the stats experts at Transfer Market, we're still the second lowest squad value in the Premier League at 290 million. Burnley's the only one.
By the way, that's mental. The Premier League is such a level that a squad value of 290 million is the second lowest value squad in the Premier.
Yeah, that's insanity, isn't it? But that's the kind of situation we're in. Yeah, so I think if we're going to get anyone in, it has to be like a big statement signing, like Xhaka was. Other fans at other clubs, Do you not
think? I mean, we've just been saying there. I mean, our midfield at the minute, we've got Xhaka, Diarra, and Siddiqui. Now, Conrad said there about creativity. Do you not think that them three are a little bit too similar you not think we need that, like a Lafayette, a creative player that can play in that 10 with maybe Xhaka and Siddiqui a little bit deeper?
Well,
yeah, potentially, definitely. But I like Lafayette, but I don't think he's strong enough for this league. He might prove me wrong, but he seems weak into some challenges, and he seems like he's not as confident as he was in the Championship, of course. So I'm on the fence with all of that.
I'd say the reason we have those three is because Xhaka is like your leader, your one who dictates the play and, you know, can pick a pass out from absolutely anywhere. Siddiqui is your disruptor, your absolute, yeah, exactly. Get him on loan. An absolute terrier, you know, just trying to get the ball off of everybody. And that turn he did at Palace, by the way, to win a free kick, I didn't even see that until now when he just turned 3 players and ran through. Diarra's meant to be the one that's driving forward and probably given us that. But I think, especially in the last 2 games, we've tried to be a bit more cautious and not, like, you know, really overexert ourselves, because Palace are a really good counter-attacking side, and Brentford away from home are going to be trying to do that to us and inviting us out. So I think Diarra's being asked to sort of drop in as maybe not as much box to box as he'd like to be, or certainly as far forward as he'd like to be. So he'd be the one, but obviously he's your star player. I think we just got to find a place that's actually, this is what's best for you, but not at a detriment to the rest of us behind you.
Yeah.
I think it's about an issue of balance for me, really. I think so I do get what Wayne's saying. I think that, you know, the one thing is, like, against Palace, for example, we didn't do as much going forward as I personally would have liked, but you've got to bear in mind, again, and this is including myself in this, I thought myself afterwards and thinking, hang on, these guys are actually, like, really, really good. And I think there's a wider issue about how, you know, when promoted clubs have come up and tried to out-football teams in the Premier League, and bye-bye, they get battered. Yeah. So,
and then their managers get a Champions League job, and one of them's doing all right, and the other one's going to be sacked any week now.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, somehow that happens, Vincent Kompany. But yeah, either way, the point stands. I think the reason that we've got the midfielders there is because we do have, and playing the way we do, is because of how industrious and energetic it is, and I think that's where that's going to keep us in a lot of games. I wouldn't complain, maybe to back what Wayne's saying, though. I wouldn't complain with maybe a more creative player to maybe come off the bench when the game's a bit more stretched, when teams are coming onto us a bit more. But yeah, and remember, we've got the issue of AFCON come in a couple of months' time, haven't we? So obviously we're going to, so for example, we might end up seeing Isidore on the left. We might end up seeing, I was going to say Traore, but I don't think he's going to AFCON as well, isn't he? I can't remember, but let's
not forget, hopefully Luke O'Nien will be fit by then and he can play anywhere.
So what was saying? So Luke O'Nien comes off the bench against a certain team at the Stadium of Light on December the 13th, and then scores an absolute
it's made for him.
Jammy goal that annoys their fan base. And
I would name a stand after him.
Like I said to Wayne before, needs to be one that, like, VAR should have disallowed, but they didn't. Like, just to really wind them up even more.
And you know what'll happen after that happens? Then Luke O'Nien looks towards Bruno and just gives him. Nice little peck, just to annoy them even more. Stick your tin foot up your ass. But that's what I'm. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, I wouldn't complain with an extra, like, sort of creative play, but I think the reason we've got that midfield is because that we need to stay in games, and we need to. And remember, we're still adjusting to the Premier League, aren't we? So I think that it might be that some of these guys this team might need just more time to actually get used to each other. And if you think we've got used to each other.
It's not just adjusting to a new league, it's adjusting to all new players who have never played together hardly, you know.
Not even in this country, in this league or anything.
And that's the positive sign. After 4 games, we'll look as though we've played together for quite a while. The midfield, the defence looks absolutely rock solid. But all joking aside, what we're talking there, Ahmad would be that player.
You say that, but do you not have flashbacks of, like, Barini, where we had him and it was great, so then we got him again and it wasn't as great?
I personally think Ahmad's a completely different level of player to Barini.
Yeah, Ahmad is. Ahmad was Man United's best player when he came on and played under Ten Hag in any game, and then he was the best player when Amarin actually used him last season. Unfortunately, got injured, but then came back and still got double figures. He clearly can do it, but not as a wing back. He has to be that right forward and be allowed.
Same with Wemo in that position, haven't they?
Exactly. And then didn't Mowbray did the Sam Allardyce podcast recently, and he said we allowed him not to come back and help us defend because we knew what he offered going forward. But yet Man United are like, no, you need to fill in here and do this, and he's not performing that because he's not that. Whereas if we just sort of went, there you are, that's it, you just be there, the rest of the team can come back. Isidore, you can drop in from the left. Enzo, you come in and round as well.
And sometimes them moments, especially the last 10 minutes of games when everyone backs you against the wall, it's that one player you need up there because we don't even have a striker on playing off the last man on the off chance. Everyone's back. So if you had somebody like that up there.
The Torres Barcelona player, the one that's just stood on the halfway line.
Exactly.
So we just have Gary Neville commentary, the iconic Gary Neville commentary.
That'd be me in the stand.
You've got to, for front of the Leazes end at St James's Park or whatever. Yeah. To be fair though, all right, I'll tell you what then. If I'm being serious about Ahmad, like if we do stay up, then I wouldn't rule out the possibility of that transfer happening next summer if he's not getting game time at Man United.
Yeah. We know he'd be up for it anyway. We're half an hour in and we've done one question, so. Good progress here, gents. It's going to be a long night.
Hold on,
we've got 4 hours to go to get through it all.
I've not told people it's a 4 hour show.
Yeah. We've got over 110 people watching this side. I think the other guys have got loads watching over that side as well. So make sure you hit like on whichever stream you're watching on and subscribe.
Hype and all that stuff.
And hype, that new thing. I have no idea what it's all about. But also the 3 channels are above my head, so make sure you check out them as well. The next question, we're not going to answer. Chris Carter asks, barring the goalie, what's your best back four? We're not going to answer because, Wayne, you've got a talking point on defence, right?
I have. I mean, it's a bit controversial, but based, like we've just been saying, how ruthless we've been already and how Regis Lebris has been, do you think that when everybody's fit, that Trey Hume could lose his place? Because I think the back four could probably be Mukwele, Ballard, Alderete and Reinildo. For all... Trey Hume, I love him to bits, and I think he's more than good enough to play at this level. I just think Lebris might oust him and just have the sign as what we've made. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but I've just got this feeling when everybody's fit that Trey Hume might miss out.
Possibility. I think I remember we signed the Gertruda from Leipzig as well, haven't we? That's another person to consider in the mix. So, I mean, if you're asking about But the good thing here is this is the conversation you want to be having. You don't want to go, oh, well, if he gets injured, we're screwed. You want to be having, right, if he gets injured, well, hang on, he can go there. But hang on, if he's fit, then he doesn't get in there. But hang on, if everyone's fit, then he misses out. That's, one thing that stuck in my mind with what Kieran McKenna said last year at Ipswich, apparently, was how stretched squads got in the Premier League. And that's because an issue of depth. So it looks like defensively, because if you remember, for a lot of the window, we were kind of... not sweating, but we were getting a bit concerned about, okay, where's our defenders? Like we're signing like 20 midfielders. So and we've signed a couple of forwards. Like, where's our defenders? And then now all of a sudden you've got an abundance of options. Love that, SJ. But honestly, yes, I think it's a tricky question because I don't think Hume's disgraced himself personally, but at the same time. Like Gertruda, for example, I've heard a lot of glowing reviews for, and I'm sure there was a tweet from Fabrizio Romano a year ago that said that he was linked with PSG or something. Yeah. So obviously something must have happened to the point where we've got him that it hasn't gone well for him in the last year. But you think to yourself, if this guy's good, then you're thinking he's not going to come and sit on the bench, surely not. So that's I don't know. I mean, but it's a very I wouldn't be surprised if Wayne's right in that regard in coming games.
I mean, you've also got, the defenders that we're probably forgetting about, Dennis Serkin, Adjialis, Luke O'Neill, where are them? Them have got, to me, no chance of getting anywhere near the first team now.
Yeah, I mean, it's as long as they're happy to be that depth in the squad, it would be great to hold on to players like that because to have them in reserve is unreal. I think Hume and Ballard will challenge for them places. Every training session at every game, and it means as well we can take the gloves off a bit with the defense because we've got cover for it. So it's and we all know if Elise comes on, he'll only last 10 minutes and have a glass ankle, and Serkin's hand will fall off, so they'll only have half an hour.
We haven't mentioned Timothy Pembele yet as well because he's in the background somewhere.
I had such high hopes when we signed him.
Well, just on that, I mean, I was having a quick look there. So Nordy played last season. He played 12 games centre back, 6 games right back, and Gertrude played 19 games as a right back and 14 as a centre back. So they're both interchangeable as right or centre backs, whichever one you want. And for me, so far, seeing how good Nordy's doing, and he just completely nullified Mateta the other day, and how good he was against Sharda and Thiago. Cheers, Eddie, man. He's just absolutely made that position almost his own after 2 games already. Like you say, Ballard and Hume are the ones who are likely to put up a fight. I don't see Sirkin, even at his best, pushing Renildo out of position. I don't see, I was going to say Gertrude, he could be on the bar. I haven't seen him yet, but Alderete is also not dropping out of this. No. So
what about fighting. Conrad? What about switching to a back 3 options?
Potentially, but we haven't seen him, Labrie, do that yet. And
back 6. Stonewall.
Yeah.
Try Chelsea away, and we'll see what happens.
I mean, it would be great, but I think then we'd need. That's when you could probably free up. You've got your number 10 in there, but then you need more of a wing backs on the flanks. But have we got wing backs? Because Adingra and Talby, are they that great coming back? I've seen them coming back a lot, and they are putting a shift in, and I think that's definitely the type of profile we've got. But as we've seen at Man United, that's what lets them down, as well as the midfield. But we have that. So I don't know. It's hard to say what your best back 4 is, but it's a really lovely conversation to have. And we're not sitting there going like, oh, well, Seal had a good game, so maybe he could. And Elise's all right, but his ankle's a bit. You're sitting there going, we've got 4 players who've all been linked and or played for European elite teams, and we've got 2 amazing up-and-comers from Northern Ireland who are captains every now and again and an absolute unit and big man. And
we know that Labrie likes Ballard, because as soon as Ballard was fit last season, Mackem was out on his ear, and Mackem was doing that wrong, and Ballard came straight back in. So
I think Ballard comes out with the ball quicker, and he's a bit more aggressive in the tackle, which is a bit what like Nordy and Alderete are like. They're like elbows in the back. They're really
and he can defy physics, fold himself in half and score.
And he can fold space-time reality into himself and head the ball in as well. And
clearly he's always in the opposition box for important moments,
Well, he's a threat going forward and a threat from set pieces, which if you took him out the team, or even if I'm trying to think back to any goals last season that were not strikers, who's our like set piece threats, really? Meppen was more like he pinged around the box, same with Hume and 09. No, he was the one that's like, I'm getting on the end of this header, regardless of what anybody's doing here. So, yeah, it's a lovely argument to have.
Robbie's just going to jump in the middle, and everyone else is going to bounce off.
Well, he's got to be careful, Robbie, because the size of his legs, he might jump over the stadium. Like the power in those things, he's going to have to take a few percentages off.
I know it's your kind of question and talking point, Wayne, but do you want to answer that then? For your perspective, what's your best back 4?
For me, I think Hume misses out. For me, I'd have. I mean, we haven't seen. Is it Gertrude? Is that how you spell it?
Gertrude is how I'm pronouncing it.
We haven't seen Gertrude is how I'm saying it on streams. Gertrude, because it's easy.
Until corrected, I'm saying Gertrude.
Good Trudy.
Well, I think then when everybody's fit, it'll be Gertrude, it'll be McQuillia, Alderete, and Reinildo. That's the back 4. I think we'll end up with.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That's a lovely back 4 to have when it was Hume, Ballard, 09, and insert other left
somebody
back
else
last season. Yeah.
Just a quick note to Mr. Speakman, if you're watching. Next set of signings, can they have 1-syllable names? Because you're really messing up my live commentaries.
There's a reason I keep calling him Nordy.
In this as well, the foreign Speakman.
I call him by his first name Nordy because I can't say his surname, so I'm just like, it's like he's not your best mate. I'm just like, Nordy.
Nordy.
Kelly.
What's your best back 4 then, Conrad?
I mean, from what I've seen so far. And I can't count Gertrude in that because I haven't seen him
Injuries
yet.
aside.
Well, his injury, he's not even played yet, and it's not about injury. Well, Hume has to be in there because he's not put a foot wrong in any of the games so far. And I think, did he have a shot in the Brentford game, which led to the corner, which did it as well? Still a bit of a threat. And I think Nordy and Alderete take it at the minute. But again, what would we have done in that Burnley game had Ballard stayed on the pitch? It could have been different, but then does Nordy come in for him? he got a bit of a break that Ballard did get injured, and Reynildo's just class, and I absolutely love him. He has to be left back, doesn't he?
He's my favourite signing so far. Alderete is a very.
It's just the chaos. It's the pure chaos of him. Yeah, it's like controlled at times, and he's just launching the ball 30 yards in the air and chasing after it himself. I love it.
I'm saying I love him and everything, but he's really messing up my commentary because he's never in the right position.
Yeah.
He just likes bombing forward, doesn't he?
He's the best possible description of a floater.
A floater.
Yeah.
Michael, what's your best back four?
Oh, it's a hard question. I would still probably keep Hugh in there because I think Hugh, certainly from set piece, well, not from set pieces as much, but more like crosses from out wide, I think is actually pretty decent. I think that's quite an underrated part of Hume's game. But if you wanted to put McKelly at right back, I wouldn't complain too much. If anyone's fit, I mean, I'm not going to count Gertrude because, again, like with Conrad, I've not seen him play, so I don't think it would be fair to me to make a comment. Of what I've seen so far, obviously Reynildo, that's an easy one. I'd say, yeah, probably Alderete, Ballard, and Hume at the minute. But again, that feels harsh on Nordy McKelly because I feel like the 2 games he's played recently has been really, really good. And again, if you remember, I think he was largely dealing with Mateta against Mateta for Palace the other day. And
he's got a long throw on him.
Sorry?
He's got a long throw on him.
Yeah, exactly. So there's definitely different reasons to put a different combination of players in the back four. So for me, at the minute, I would say what Jimmy said in mind, which is Reynildo, Ballard, Alderete, and Hume. But if you wanted to swap McKelly for, say, one of the centre-backs or for Hume, I couldn't complain too much.
Can I just quickly say on Nordy, he just gets it. Have you seen him on social media at the minute and all the things he's sort of doing about Sunderland? He just gets it, you know, a bit like Isidore did right at the start. And, you know, is like pictures of him at the games, but he's still like till the end. And I know it's all like buzzwords for him, but still, it just feels like he gets it completely.
Xhaka's the same. Xhaka, I mean, at the end of the Brentford game when he's singing "Wise Men Say" with the fans,
loves it.
Mike, can you put Ian Brown's comment on from 9:36 because he'll not be happy? No, not that
9:36.
Who plays at left back?
Reynildo.
There we go.
That one.
Who plays at left back? Sent the question to Rook.
How dare they?
We'll respond to him.
Yeah. Reynildo. I think it's a unanimous decision of Reynildo, isn't it?
Reynildo, yeah, definitely. Sometimes when he's there.
Yeah, he could be up front. Actually, do that.
He could be anywhere.
Could be anywhere. Yeah, it's great. It's great to see anyway. Off topic now. Transfer news. Yes, I know. It's September. It's September. I'm still talking transfers. Conrad, you mentioned something for this?
Yeah, so I did a video out yesterday, but it seemed, I know we're talking about the back four, but looking forward to January, it seems we're still going after John Lucchini from Bologna and still really sort of throwing interest in and going back for him, which, I mean, I initially thought Alderete was bought as an alternative to him, you know, and he's been class since he's come in. So saying if we got Lucchini, which obviously looks like a good player, would we obviously be happy with him as a signing for one question, but where does he fit in with everybody who we have? Yeah, exactly. So Wayne, I'll go with you first. You're up there, me and the Baldies.
I don't think personally we need him, especially. I mean, he must be something special because we've chased him all the summer, haven't we? You know, like from the very start.
Apparently persuaded him to come as well.
Yeah.
I mean, 28 million euros was it? I mean, so
something like that. Well, they've signed a defender now in his position as well, so he might be let go.
I don't think that we need to spend that sort of money on another centre half. If we're going to spend that sort of money, we've already said what we need: creative players. So, for me, I wouldn't be gunning from. I mean, depending where we are in January, of course, I mean, we might have injuries and what have you. But for me, I wouldn't have him. I just think we need to strengthen in other areas on the pitch, other than centre half now, which at the start of the season, we like Michael said earlier, we were worried because we had no defence, you know. But at the moment, no, I wouldn't be going back in for him.
Fair enough, Michael.
Which Michael?
I think
that way. That Mike's up there.
Right, are you going diagonally or are you going to your left?
I'm going that way.
Right, so me then. Okay. So, Conrad, what about you, mate? I've gone the wrong way. There we go. Hey, mate,
I
there
finally
you go.
got my direction right on which way someone is.
This is
Yeah,
why
you
I
got-
wanted
you
to try and
got
get the
yours right.
license for the Benny Hill music, and they wouldn't let me have it.
To be fair, right, if Nordy McKelly goes to right back and predominantly competes for that position, then I wouldn't be totally surprised if we went for John Lucimi. And there's another thing as well. Hume could also move to left back if needed for when AFCON comes around. So you've got Gertruda and McKelly for right back, Hume left back, for example, and then say Lucimi comes in to compete for centre half. So again, you're taking options of defence to the extreme, aren't you? If we sign him, I wouldn't be surprised if he did come, because I do believe he was probably the main centre back target, and I think. Granted, this is off a forum, so take it with a bit of a pinch of salt here, but I did see an Italian journalist was on there apparently, and they said that they were surprised that someone like a Newcastle or an Aston Villa weren't after Lucimi, and I'm thinking, right, that means he must be worth going for a loan if he's deemed good enough for a side that's in Europe, or as Mike's going to say, well, you never know, it might need him for a European tour next year, so sign him in regardless of that.
No, because I wouldn't have said you never know. I said we will.
Yeah,
So
heard
he's
it
either
before.
in his top
You
7
heard
or
it
he's
before.
win the FA Cup.
yeah.
One of the two, but yeah, I wouldn't be totally surprised if we signed him. I think because they activated an extra year extension, didn't they? So he's under contract till the summer of 27. But obviously, if it gets to next summer, and say we do stay up, then Bologna might be at the point where they're like, crap, we might actually need to sell him here to get some money because we can't extend his contract again. So
Yeah.
that
And Gertruda's on loan with an option. Like, it's
Yeah.
not an obligation, so that money hasn't been, fully. We might have gone, actually, we've got our target, and if we don't, then it's there for Gertruda. Like,
It is option.
like you've got an option either way.
It's option, it's option.
Yeah.
And now,
Cool.
Mike.
I like the guy. I like I said, I don't think we can under strengthen our defense. As long as the players are of the understanding, they're not going to get every game 90 minutes and they're all competing. As long as everyone's happy with that and there's no dressing room drama, I'm happy to sign whoever we are. And I think that's the one thing that we've seen with these signings. Jimmy Paddy, come over from one of your channels, said, what's impressing me about signings is while they are data driven, they haven't forgotten about the character
Very
of the
good
player.
point, that.
These lads are the right characters we've been needing, and they are. Every one of them, like at some point, as it's gone out for a throw, as it's gone for a corner, it's cheered up the crowd and stuff like that, and they're kissing the badge already. Isidore singing,
Wise Men Say.
Xhaka singing as well. It's just the passion is great. It's absolutely great, and I think how they've managed to find all these players that gel in so well. Wayne, have you seen some of the backstage stuff where they were having the photo shoot and how well they're all getting on?
Mad. It's like I said at the start. It's like even though we're only 4 games in, it seems like they've been together for like a couple of seasons. The way they've gelled, and like you see, it's getting the right fit and getting the right players. They've done the due diligence on all these players, and it's clicking at the moment. So it's really, really good signs for the rest of the season at this early stage of where we are and how we're performing.
Yeah.
Do you think as well with the character that these lads are showing together, they don't be surprised if that gets us whether a couple of wins or a couple of scrappy draws as well. Like that sort of character will probably keep us in games and will get us like to some degree on Saturday. And the more of those you get, the more chance we've got of staying up.
I mean, the clearances at the weekend, the way they were all giving to the high
bring
five.
Their bodies in the way and put the boys on the line, literally.
I mean, Alderete has blocked for the one. I think Roof says that Alderete kind of put his body in and went out with the bar. That sort of thing, just great to see. Really, really, it's what you want. What we need.
Yeah.
It happened in the first game when Ballard had that clearance off the line. Roofs just turned around and just chest bumped him. I don't even think Ballard was expecting it and nearly went down. Like, he just sort of got him screamed in his face. But it was the same with his penalty save as well. Like Siddiqui and Diarra were over to him, like high-fiving. The ball hadn't even landed back from being up in the air and they were already over to him going, get in, and then carrying on.
It's great to see. It really is. This is an interesting question. Conrad, I'll go to you on this one. Do you think, played in the right way, Jack Clark could have cut it in the Premiership? Do you think if we'd have kept hold of him, he'd be part of this team? I mean, we talk about players that are not making the team. We've still got Super Romain Mundle to come back yet.
Yeah, true. It's interesting because he only played 2 games under Labrie, and he obviously scored and assisted in both of those games, and was doing pretty well. And then, of course, Ipswich came in, and he didn't really get a look in until sort of the latter part of the season. But they were always, second best on most things. And I think they played as a focal point, looking for Delap more than letting the sort of wingers contribute. I think he scored 1 or 2 this season already for Ipswich, and tends to be playing as well. But I don't know. I don't think he's going to play with the likes of Lefay and Adingra out on that left-hand side. And potentially, now that I've seen Mundell, I think Mundell is better because he offers you both feet. But Jacques, oh, you see foreign. Jack Clark. The Frenchman. Jack Clark. As much as it's harsh to say he was one-dimensional, he was bloody good at cutting in on his right foot and finding that far corner. Like, every time. You're sitting there going, as a player of any other team, you go, right, what do I need to stop him doing? Right, don't let him cut in onto his right and shoot, because what have I done? I've just let him do exactly that, And maybe he could have done, but I sort of have this feeling that even if he'd have been with us in the playoff campaign and it had gone exactly as the way it had, we would have still probably gone for Adingra and Lefay as upgrades on him now. We've not been, going back to ruthless, we've been very ruthless in the heroes we had in May have been replaced almost, and it's the overall project of the club has taken a higher priority over our sort of nostalgia, our sort of loyalty, I guess, to those players. So it might have been that he did really well under Labrie, but I think he'd have probably found himself second fiddle again this season, as a lot of last season's players would have been.
Do you think as well with Clark, because there's a couple of things really that I think that Ipswich haven't used him at all, and I'm a little annoyed at McKenna for that, because I really want to see Clark do well. But at the same time, the Premier League requires a lot of athleticism and pace, and for all how technically gifted Clark is, he's not exactly quick, is he? No. But also with the trick, and you're right, he's bloody good at the one trick that he has got. Because if a player's, I could have a one-trick pony, but if they're that good at that one trick, then it's really hard to stop them. Having said that, the one thing I've noticed is that Premier League fullbacks are a lot better than Championship ones, and that's the thing I'm kind of trying to remember. So I'm thinking, and I do get Leighton's point here, but we do have to remember, I think that game was just a travesty from start to finish. I don't think it was
mismanaged from the start on all aspects of the club, shall we say.
When the best player was Bar for 2 minutes, then you know you've got issues.
I'm still sitting there going, in that game against the Mags, Ballard was the best player, and he gave away a penalty and scored an own goal, and yet he's still our best player.
I know, that's the weird thing, despite both of them, he actually had a pretty good game.
Yeah.
So I think Clark at the very, if we were going to have him back as a squad option, maybe, but you'd be hard pushed to want to sign him to start in the Premier League.
He was less injury prone than Mundell. That's the only thing that's
different. I have to admit.
But you're basing that off one injury.
I'm basing that off an injury actually after a few games last season. Then he came back and wasn't quite the same and got injured again, and then came back this season, had pre-season and got injured. So it's 3 injuries in that time. All right. You once said to me, you argued with Sunderland Rain Man. You even called me that, and I've just thrown it back at you.
Yeah, but we talked about the number of cocktail sticks on the floor at the time. For me, I thought Mundell was 10 times better than as soon as he came on, and I thought he was brilliant. I was singing his praises straight away.
Yeah, you were 6 months prior to everybody else. You were.
He was. We'll give him that one.
Yeah, you were going. He needs
Mundell
to play.
will be better than Clark. That was his eye. I remember that.
Yeah. And I was right for a while till he had a nap.
3 injuries.
Wayne, would you have kept Clark?
In hindsight, at the time, didn't want him to leave. I think. And himself probably regrets leaving big style. I think now we've moved on from Jack Clark. I think, like we've just been talking about Mundell, after 2 or 3 games, it was like Jack Clark, we forgot about him. Didn't miss him at all. So
didn't he get 3 and 3, Mundell, at the start when he came
in? When he came in. So I don't think Jack Clark would even be anywhere near the first team, to be honest with you. I think Mundell's head and shoulders above him anyway. So for me, no, I wouldn't. He is talented, given that. But I think he's like we've just been saying, he's a one-trick pony. good fullback, show him down the line, and you nullify him. So, not for me.
What about you,
well,
Mike? What
there
do
you
you
go.
think?
Me, I like I said, I wouldn't.
He
have,
loves
I,
Mundley, he wouldn't have done
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I was the same at the time. I'd like to keep him. I get why he went.
We all
You were
thought we
going
should have
for-
got more money for him than we did.
Yeah.
He was going
Yeah.
for the right reasons, but that's been pulled away from him now. So I think he does regret it, and I think it was a bit of a shyster agent.
He was going for the right reasons. His agent was not moving him for the right reasons.
No,
is
he
probably the
was
best way of
desperate to
saying
move
it.
to see a little thing
Yeah.
called money sign. To be fair, though, if you look at it, without the sale of Clark, though, would we have got Lafay, for instance? Because
Would we have got Isidore? Would we have got
exactly? So
Alexic, that player?
That's the whole. That I know everyone's sick of the word model now, but that is what Sunderland's model is. That's what, and I'm not just Sunderland, by the way. Quite a few clubs are going down that route now, where with PSR you've got to sell to maximise your potential in terms of spending, haven't you? So.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons, for example, why Leeds probably haven't been able to do as much as what they would have wanted because they haven't sold players. So that's our point.
Yeah.
So without the sales of Clark and Stewart and whoever else, we couldn't have done what we did.
I don't think we sold near as many as I thought we were going to, because obviously there was tips for like Ballard, there was tips for Neil going, there was tips for all sorts of people.
Patterson,
Rig,
yeah.
Everyone. I thought
Hume
we were going to
got
have a
linked as
fire
well.
sale. Yeah.
But to be fair,
in all the shows I've done, in all the conversations we've had together, Job has hardly ever been mentioned in amongst any conversations that we've missed him.
Yeah, which is weird because I thought we really would, because he was one of those players that was a workhorse and he had a goal in him now and again. So
I don't think he'd have.
I
don't think he'd have done as good as Diarra and Siddique are doing now, because they're doing a completely different job to what he was doing for us. He was like the driving sort of engine and the sort of helping out the left back. Left back doesn't need help anymore. We've actually got like a really class defence.
He does. So, he needs help finding his way back to left back.
Get over there.
And it's probably a good thing, because if he'd stayed and not getting a game, his dad would have come down and probably try and chin Labrie.
Yeah, exactly.
And we wouldn't have got nowhere near as much money for him. Let's be fair.
No, exactly. I've only been asked one. I done a Crystal Palace podcast the other day, and it's the first time they asked, "Have you missed Job?" And it was like, not really. Like, I barely remember that he actually played for us until I go back and look at highlights, and I was like, God, it's only 3 months ago that he actually did.
Yeah.
The thing is, not to be like too much with hindsight, because he was still a very, very good player for us, obviously, and I think that I'll be thankful for the contribution that he did towards us getting promoted. But if we hadn't sold Job, we probably don't sign Diarra, for example. I would have been quite. So I think that the sale, and again, to not harp about PSR too much, but like again, when you buy, and I mentioned this before, but very briefly, when you buy a player, you amortize the cost over the length of a contract. When you sell a player, the whole of the money from that sale goes onto that specific financial year's accounts. So the sale of Job, for example, has facilitated the first payment of, say, Xhaka, Diarra, Siddique, Brobby, or Mr. Blobby, and then probably like Simon Adingra, Talby, stuff like that. It's facilitated that to keep us in a good PSR position. So, hopefully Melier starts quite a lot. But I think Job would have cut it in the Premier League personally, and I'm a little disappointed that he left. But when you look at it now, like I've said, we really haven't missed him, and I think Diarra in particular, and probably Siddique, like both of them have provided the energy and the engine and the athleticism in the midfield that I think Job would have provided potentially. But
I think they give more energy than him. I think they're just a bit quicker. But that could be a level of play rather than the him. Maybe.
But I think another thing to bear in mind is, when we talk about the sales before, if you remember, because I'm not gonna, part of me was, but you gotta remember this summer as well, we got money for Job and Tommy Watson and Pierre Eckler as well, on top of Jack Lock and Ross Stewart in the previous two summer transfer windows.
Fuming about it.
Eckler's fuming.
I know. Wait, what? I'm going back. Wait, I didn't know that. Yeah, it was literally in the agreement, mate.
Even if they're relegated, no one thought that about that, mate. So tough.
No, pretty much.
Off you go.
Go play some random French version of Accrington Stanley away from home or whatever. But
can I just say, 2 years ago we all loved Ekwar, and then now we're just like, sod off, mate. Look at us now.
Well, always remember Southampton at home. Well,
fickle bastards.
Yeah. Do you know, actually, I remember even the Luton first leg of the playoffs where he dominated the game, actually. But the point is that, I mean, if you're looking at some of the other players, like the Neil and Sirkin thing, for example, and they're still in the last year of their contracts, that's something that's going to have to be resolved one way or another. Like, I'll be disappointed if Sunderland were willing to let them go for free. I would like to think there's, especially if with Mike's favourite player ever, Dan Neil, if you in January get to a point where you get a couple of million for him, if you're able to, it's pure profit for PSR, isn't it? And with Dennis Serkin, as much as I really do like Serkin, I'm starting to get the point where it might be worth cutting our losses with him. Yeah. And you could still probably get enough of money to make a profit on what you've paid. Oh, there you go then.
Michael's pre-answering questions before they've come on screen.
Well, I'll say like and the others go for that. The point is, if we could get a couple of million each in January, then I would probably do it, because like we've said, if you look at the midfield, Daniel's not got a hope in hell of getting in that midfield unless there's a significant injury crisis. Dennis Serkin,
or an African tournament.
Is that one? I didn't know. Yeah.
Or the entire team gets stricken with bird flu, even the youngsters and any geriatrics.
Lasagna gate again.
Just a bit.
Then potentially I'd bring him on.
yeah, maybe then they might go for it. But even then, you probably would look to like put Hume left back before Serkin, even at this point. But again, it just comes back to, and even if you're looking at the sale of players, think how much there would have been a fire sale if we'd not got promoted. So it's scary to think that. But anyway, if we're Neil and Serkin, if we can get a bit of money in January for them, I'd sell them if they haven't signed.
Me too, 100% with you there, Mike. I think if we can get that in January, move them on, because I think Serkin being linked with Spurs before the start of the season for 20 million quid, I'd have drove him there myself for that sort of money. You know what I mean? Like,
but we had loads of links like that. That's what I was saying. That's why I was expecting a bit of a fire sale. I mean, let me just say, right, I get a bit of stick for this. I don't hate Dan Neil, all right? Okay, let me just throw that out there, right? He's a lovely guy. He's been a Sunderland fan all his life, and he's gone up and he's played the game and he's lived his dream and stuff like that. Serkin and Neil, for me, are both really good players. Good championship players, not quite Premier League yet. If they've got the right attitude in training and they learn from the players around, they could develop into them players. And I think they've got loads of potential. So I kind of hope they stick around for that reason, if they've got the right attitude. But if money comes in and they want the game time themselves from a personal point of view, then I wouldn't begrudge them leaving. That's what I would say.
If both of them do leave, though, then at the very least, you remember their contribution to getting us here, and at least you ended up on good enough terms. You know what I mean?
So Serkin I really liked. Serkin.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I know Jimmy Paddy in the chat, like, he really doesn't rate Dan Neil, and I've disagreed with him quite a bit on him. That I think he's in some.
He sounds like a top bloke. Who is this guy? He needs to subscribe to me.
For me, Dan Neil is definitely for a high-end championship player, and I don't think it's fair to say that he's lower than that personally. But again, if you're comparing him to Xhaka, Siddiqui, and Diarra, then he just doesn't get in the team, does he?
No. Wayne, your opinions on both of them?
I think I've already said. I mean, Dan Neil, like I say, he's got the potential, but I just don't think he's good enough at this level. Even in the championship last year, he got caught on the ball for me far too much, and I would probably play him out of position a bit in that defensive role. I like to see him a little bit further forward. But I just don't think the two of them are good enough for championship for Premier League. I've already said certain I'd have drove them there to myself for the links that was kind of getting with him before the season. Injury prone as well, but certainly seems to be. I mean, he wants to leave Pornhub on the other. I don't know what he's doing with his wrist. Seems to have had a wrist injury for 5 years. You know what I mean? So I don't know what's going on.
He thinks he's on
good-looking
FIFA.
lad as well. Surely he doesn't need to be on Pornhub, you know.
I think he thinks he's on FIFA, where you've got like an identifying marker, so he knows who he is.
Jamie Vardy bandage for like 6 months. No, I think two of them. If we can get money for them in January, I would move them on. I mean, I would out of the two of them, I would keep Dan Neil before I kept Dennis Serkin.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. Conrad, you've been a staunch defender of Neil against my trying to sway you. What do you think of them two?
I think the team's moved on, I think, is probably the nicest way of saying it, rather than the other. It's interesting because both their contracts are up at the end of this season. So you would think if we were that interested in our PSR position, we would have let them go by now, and even probably brought in like a loan as a backup or something else, and just sort of gone, we need them. So we're clearly not money greedy. Do you know what I mean? Or we think, we'll be able to get something for them in January. Like you say, Neil is pure profit. He's the one you sell. Sirkin, I'm sure we had an agreement with Spurs because we got him for next to out. We had to give him like half back of whatever we sold him for. So if he ends up going for nothing anyway, then, fair enough. I just wish Sirkin could stay fit, because he's a class player on his day when he actually is on his day. And I really do think he could be learning from the likes of Reinildo, and Masuaku about the left side. His problem with it is that he was always better going forward and being on a front foot of our. You saw him back in the league one day, he's overlapping, and the same with the Championship when we were playing in Mowbray's system. When he's had to be a bit more defensively restricted, shall we say, it's just not quite worked out for him there. And then we all remember his goal against Coventry, because it was almost like he just burst out. That wouldn't have been his thing. It was just the opportunity was there and I'm gone. And I've got nothing on, I'll just shoot. It was one of them rather than sort of like actually planned for it. But I like him, and I liked Neil. Neil wasn't a 6 as much as we tried to make him one last season. He just really wasn't. But he was the one to move out of Rigg and Bellingham, because they were offering us so much more, so he had to. I think we'd be daft not to sell him for money, even though if we only got like 5 mil for Sirkin, so we only actually get 2.5, it's still 2.5 in January rather than the nout in June.
Yeah. Let's go on to the future now. Anyone who's asked questions in the chat, I have got a few starred still. We'll come to them at the end.
Haven't you two got questions?
Yeah, do you want me to let me do my job? Let me do my job, all right? Gee.
I thought you were wrapping up, and I was like, no, this is a 4-hour stream. Come on.
Bringing in the midweek. All of us got work in the morning. Never mind. Yes, so talking about the future, Mr. Bowers, you had a question regarding points and our situation.
Yes, well, it was obviously one where Mike had asked us to bring a talking point, as he said. So here was mine then. So, and this is a question for anyone who is watching, and as well as these lads here. So my version of this question was, how many wins and how many points do we think we need to stay up? And Mike's version would have been, how many points and wins do we need to qualify for Europe? So
all of them.
All of them.
All the points.
But for me, how many more wins between now and the end of the season do people think we need to stay up? And how many points do you think would be the tally to keep us up?
Ooh, that's a good question, that, Michael. I think it's going to be a lot more competitive than it has been in recent seasons, where we've seen the lower points totals that teams had. I think we might be wanting around the 40-point mark this season. And I was saying, like, last couple of seasons have been like, has it been 20s, 30s?
32 points Forest had to stay up the 2024 Premier League season.
Correct. Sorry to interrupt. And that season they had a 6 points deduction, I think, as well. Mm-hmm. So that skewed it a little bit as well.
Yeah. Well, Brentford were the next ones, and they were at 39 that season.
I think it's going to be a lot more competitive. I think there's a lot more teams going to be in that mix at the bottom this season. Yeah. We've already seen Wolves have had a really bad start. I mean, Villa's not going to be down there. But I expected Brentford to struggle. I expected Bournemouth to struggle, but Bournemouth have been tremendous at the start of the season because the players they have lost. But I do think it's going to be like maybe 6 or 7 teams at the bottom in that relegation mix.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Wins. I do think we're going to have to make home count. 100% we do, and pick up the odd point away. But I think we're going to need at least 40 points to stay up this season, I think.
That was closer to last season. Spurs just staying up with 38 points, so that
was tricky. I mean, yeah,
Spurs. A mad sentence, that isn't it?
I know. You look at. I've got the table in front of me. To look at it as a football fan, it's like Leicester getting relegated. I remember the awesome season they went up and became champions and stuff, and then Spurs, and then 15th Man United.
Yeah,
it's just an unreal season. Last season.
And bear in mind as well, Man U and Tottenham finished that low because they basically both sacked off the Premier League to focus on the Europa League. So so even Man United, I'd be astonished if they were that bad again. They might not be top half, but I'd be staggered if they're like in a down.
They've started that way, Michael. They've started just as bad this season.
If they keep the manager for more games, I think they've been. There was all those rumours coming out this week. He's been given 3 games to try and save his job, and the last one's against us. Yeah.
Well, we'll see then. Well,
so I don't know that That's a game we need to go and try and win.
Hopefully this level of shitness continues, then we beat them and then they sack him. I don't know. Because then they can beat teams around us. That'd be quite nice.
Yeah.
But,
I hope Ahmad's not playing against us as well, because that'll be what will happen there.
No, wait,
Ronaldo will have him in his
score
pocket.
like 2 own goals or something because he's sitting there finding he wants to just come. He wants to come back. To be fair, for me, I think we are. I think we would. Yeah, I'd still say. Yeah, I think SJ's right. I think I would say about 40 points. I think if you look at the teams that are going to be down there, I still think Brentford will struggle. I think Brentford have lost Mbeumo, Wissa, Norgard, and Frank all in one window, and I think that's a lot to replace in one goal. Although I do like the signing of Henderson for them, I do think that's a big amount of experience for them. I think is it the Django Atara, the guy that's signed from Bournemouth too. Because you've got to remember, like, I think Brentford, if I'm right, scored, and Mike had the table in front of him. If I'm right, Brentford scored 66 goals last season in the Premier League.
Like that. Yeah, it's got a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Wissa and Mbeumo were both in the high teens. I
was just about to say that. Well, Mbeumo and Wissa got 39 combined between them, and they've sold both of them. So that, to me, is if that was us, a lot of our fans would be going, that's a lot of goals to replace. Now, Atara will give them some goals back, but not enough to make the difference of the goals that we've lost. But for me, I think... Go on, Mike.
On the same foot, Spurs scored 64 goals in the same season and came 17th.
But how many did they concede?
106.
I was going to say they would have been.
It felt like a lot.
65.
They only had -1 goal difference after all that.
Yeah. Did they just have like a bunch of 1-0 losses and then like a couple of 5-0 wins and then like loads of 2-0, 2-1 losses? Yeah. So if you're asking me, I think the bottom 6 will be us, Leeds, Burnley, obviously, West Ham, Brentford, and Wolves. I think it'll be them ones, but. I think remember. I think, Mike. I really hope you are. I hope you're going to make me eat humble pie at the end of the season. That's all I'll say on that one. And then we can get our passports ready for Borat FC away. So for me, I think Leeds and Burnley as well. I think the promoted clubs this year will actually give it a better fight than I think the promoted clubs have, because I think Sunderland, Leeds, and Burnley have all, to some degree at least, learned from the last couple of seasons that the promoted clubs have just been awful, to be frank, and none of them seem to be going with the attitude that they'll try and play out from the back. So we'll see. Yeah, but for me, I would say I think you need another 9 wins with a handful of draws across the season. So what's that? 9 wins in 34 games? So
yeah, that's fair. I was thinking it's got to be around, again, like we're in the 40-point mark. You just want to be out of it, really. Yeah. The thing we've got to watch out for is, looking at the 3 promoted teams, all of us are likely to stick with the manager. I think Leeds are the least likely, but it depends how badly it's going. If we're going to, unless they're in a dire position like Southampton were by Christmas last season, I think if Leeds are still in there, they will stick with him if they're grinding out points and results. I think Burnley will stick with Parker because even though he's lost the last 2 games, Burnley were really good in both of those games and probably deserved more out of them. They were great against Man United as well. They're just, again, a silly mistake at the end from a defender cost them, which is exactly the same as Liverpool. And we've been great, and I think we're very likely to stick with Labrie unless it's going wrong, like January time. Whereas West Ham, Wolves, and maybe to a degree Brentford, I know they've only just put their manager in, are all likely to go, shit, we're not dropping out of the Premier League here, we can't afford to do that, and make changes to stay in. Potter's already on thin ice. Wolves have just put their manager on a new contract. I don't know if that's just to sort of tell him that we're backing you. But if that's the dreaded, curse of a manager,
he won't be there long if they don't keep losing.
But they signed him on a 3-year deal now when I didn't think he had that long left to go. So it's I don't know. I just think the established Premier League teams are more likely to do something drastic to try and survive, whereas I think us 3 are more likely to stick to the plan and see where we end up.
Can I just say, I don't...
40 points.
The one area I slightly disagree with Conrad, I don't think Leeds stick with Farker. I think Leeds will...
Do you think...
I can agree. Chris Reed from Talk Norwich City. Great lad. Great channel. Hopefully you guys...
How much did you pay him to come on and say that as your hype man?
No comment. No comment on that one.
Thank you, Chris.
No, cheers, Chris, though. That's much appreciated. I was going to say, though, I think I can see Burnley sticking with Parker, actually, because I think Parker will give Burnley a better chance than Vincent Kompany did. Because Vincent Kompany basically went, right, I'll tell you what, let's just play out from the back. Oh, wait, we can't do that. We're up against world-class players. Oh, shit, we've got relegated. And then he still gets a Bayern Munich job. But that's by the by. Either way, though, I think that Parker gives them a better chance than what I think Kompany did. So I can see possibly, I didn't think they would at the start of the season, but having seen how they've started, I could see Burnley sticking with Parker. I think unless it, I agree with Conrad, unless it goes really tits up, we stick with Labrise. But I think Leeds get rid of Parker myself. Do
you think they panic because they were like a Premier League relegated and they need the money as well, sort of thing? They need to break this relegation hoodoo.
Possibly. Yeah, I mean, you got to remember as well, I think there was rumours they were going to try and sack Parker in the summer, I think.
Yeah. I did forget that. Yeah.
But so I would say that
I reevaluate. Yeah, Farker's probably going to go. Yeah, you're right.
The other two I could certainly
good point
see happening, but I think the promoted clubs this season are making the likes of Wolves and West Ham and Brentford Wolves and West Ham in particular sweat themselves a bit. Mind, I think this will be it'll be more competitive this year than I think it was the last two.
Yeah, I mean, I do a show every Tuesday with a Leeds fan. Imagine not being Leeds, and their fan base are up in arms at the minute. More so with the owners, the feel that Farker hasn't been backed in the window. You know,
I heard about that. Yeah,
in the summer, I mean, we were kind of all linked with the same players, and we got most of them, which kind of didn't go down too well. And you know, they then didn't get a strike. They got Calvert-Lewin, didn't they? I think these next 3 games for Farker, especially Saturday at Wolves, if they get beat off Wolves on
that's
the weekend,
huge game.
Is that at Ellen Road?
It's at Wolves. It's at Wolves.
They have to win, really, don't they?
Yeah.
So many clubs waiting for Big Sam to come in and save this year.
It'll be Dyche. It'll honestly be Dyche.
Nuno's available.
He'll be going West Ham. If West Ham don't win on this weekend, I think they act because Nuno's free.
Yeah.
So am I going to get to answer this point?
No.
Question?
100 points.
Right, lads, the next question.
Champions League.
No, you're right. But if the question is how many to say safe, I would say, I'd want like 42 plus kind of thing to be sure. I think we'll get about 67 points this season is what I'm going to say.
Wow.
You just timestamp that, take a picture, do whatever you say.
Follow-up question. Is that or that?
Yeah.
It's just the aura, Mike. It's just
the lack of one.
It's Mystic Mike.
Question for Mike then.
Oh, that's not aura. Oh,
So question to Mike then. So at the start of last season, where did you predict us to finish?
At the start of last season,
second. You said second.
I said second. Yeah,
I'll give him this.
Second with my heart.
Then, so
yeah, and I said we definitely go up. I don't want to see playoffs, so I was saying second with my heart. But yeah, I predicted us going up. I predicted when Ballard was going to score minutes before he did. Like it's just
I'm definitely getting my passport sorted out then.
Yeah.
It's like manifesting it. No, come on, we're going to manifest it. Ballard is going to score him and send us to Wembley.
For full clarity to the people that don't know how delusional I am sometimes in the chat, I'm often predicting 3-0 wins and getting them right sometimes. But I said, what did I say on our chat? I said January. By the January transfer window would be around 10th, and then we'd strengthen with a couple of amazing signings and we'd finish around.
Can I just say, 67 points last season would have had us 5th in the Premier League table. Like, do you want to knock that down to like 51?
Yeah, no, what did I just say? I just said around 5th or 6th will finish. I'm consistent, Conrad. Come on.
Like, just drop it down to 51, just to give yourself a chance, like in 12th place or something.
So to be fair, right, when I'm saying the bottom 6 will be like us, West Ham, Brentford, Leeds, Burnley, and whoever, and whatever else and us. Okay, so what we're saying is that we're going to finish bottom 6, but it's flipped upside down. So really, we're in the top 6, and we're getting into Europe.
Listen, it's somebody said there that it doesn't matter about the league because they're going to win the FA Cup. I don't think we'll put up much of a cup run. I think it'll all be on the league, and we're going to finish up there.
Well,
and listen, worst case scenario, I've got a backup channel that's nothing to do with football, so I'll just disappear.
You just
in the background.
Just a quick follow-up question: do you think we finish the highest of the promoted clubs? Because I think we do.
Definitely.
I think so.
I think we finish above Leeds and Burnley.
I think Burnley was a shock result for me, but it's I hate saying these words because we're a completely different team, different staff, different structure, everything. But it's typical Sunderland to perform against good teams and not perform against teams we should be beating.
Yeah.
There's a bit of complacency there still, and I it might have just been unlucky with Burnley. They might have just had a good game, but I think we'll be above them easily.
Burnley aside, we have beaten 2 of the 3 teams who are around there with us in terms of Brentford and West Ham. And then we've got a point off Crystal Palace. Burnley, I think, was a bit of an anomaly because it's their first home game. And with, they were just sort of up for it a bit like we were with West Ham. So I think it was just, if we'd have played them the second game of our away games, I think it's different. And if we hadn't lost a key player right at the start.
Make that man a moderator.
I think the Ballard injury in the Burnley game affected us massively. But I think you've got to give credit to Burnley. Burnley second half came out and had a right go at us.
Yeah, they deserved to win the game.
Yeah. They deserved to win. It wasn't, and I think when we beat West Ham, we beat Brentford, we didn't get the credit we deserved. I think it was, West Ham were poor, Brentford didn't play well, and I think you've got to give Burnley a bit of credit for beating us on the day. They were just the better side. So,
are you digging out Alan Shearer there?
No, definitely not.
I think everyone gave us credit beating West Ham until Chelsea slapped them up 5 the week after and went, actually, Sunderland was shit. Just West Ham was so much worse.
If you want to be technical,
scored 3.
Yeah. But if you want to be technical, then if that's us being shit, then if West Ham are being shit, then what? And Nottingham Forest then, because they lost 3-0 at home to West Ham.
But yeah, that was Nuno's. I'm off, mate. I'll give you West Ham points now, and I'll join you next week.
And Palace,
Like all the seasons of football you've watched between us all. When is this ever the case? When is it ever the case of, we beat them and they beat them, so we should definitely beat them? It's never the case. It never works like that.
Crystal Palace went to Aston Villa and won 3-0, didn't they? So what does that say for the weekend?
We're going to smash them up 6-0.
Can we now see?
And then we wake up and reality is that, I'll not manifest it.
Right, well, let's quickly think how many points from the next 3 games. Okay, we'll talk about, Michael asked about the points that we need to survive, so let's just look at the next 3 games, because that's when the international break is coming up, and I want to talk about the international break very quickly. Sorry, guys, I know it's going on for a while, this. But yeah, so it's Villa, Forest, and Man United, for anyone that doesn't know. Conrad, you look like you've already got your answer in your head, so I'll come to you first.
This is my thinking face. Sorry.
Screenshot it. Meme it.
Yeah, I was going to say 4 or 5. I think we need that to at least sort of be, ticking over with the point. I mean, I'd love 9, and I think we get maximum off Man United, but I think 4 or 5.
Okay. Michael?
I would say probably the same amount, 4 or 5. I have a feeling Sunday will be a draw. And to be fair, despite Villa's start, Mike, I'd love your 3. If we win 3-0, that'd be even better. But I just think Villa's in a somewhat of a false position. I don't think their squad is a lot better than 19th they are at the minute.
Yeah.
They scored a goal yesterday as well. First
one
of the season.
Come over to our side.
I'm going to quote Chris. There's a beer company called Lakins that they have on Tottenham Norwich City. So I think Chris has drunk quite a bit of that, was to get 9 points. But I love that. To be fair, I'll tell you what. I'll predict the results of the next 3. Then I think we draw against Villa, and I wouldn't complain at that. I think that's still a good result. I think we beat Forest, because I think we will. Because they've got Betis away, and Mike might want to check this. I think they've got Betis away in the Europa League 2-3 days before playing us, and I think that will play into our advantage. And I've just got a feeling we might end up losing to Man United only because it'll be the Sunderland way to. Amiron could lose his job if he loses this game, and then we'll end up like
Betis on Wednesday 24th,
and then we play them on the Saturday 5:30, don't we?
Yeah.
By the way, just to warn you, though, I've not seen Sunderland win away in the Premier League, and I'm going to Forest. So be prepared for Nottingham Forest 2, Sunderland 0. But to be fair, though, honestly, if you gave me 4 or 5 points out of these next 3, I'd be pretty happy with that. And just to add to that as well, I think Wolves after the international break is a massive game as well, because the games after that start to go really up in terms of difficulty. Harder. Not that these games are easy, of course, but they're particularly hard.
Yeah. Wade, next 3 games?
I think we'll beat Villa on Sunday. I do. I did a show last night with a Villa fan, and they're not happy about. They said they don't look like scoring. They think there's something wrong in the dressing room. They think there's something wrong with the side. But
Wayne,
like Mike,
this is Sunderland.
I know that's anybody with a record to break. Sunderland always duly obliged, haven't they? Not scored a goal this season, so enter Sunderland, which you know what happened. But I do think we'll be a bit strong for them. I think we'll win 2-1 on Sunday. I do think we'll beat Forest. I think them getting rid of Nuno and putting Postecoglou in is an absolutely crazy decision. Their chairman, I just didn't get it.
And now it's Forest winning the Europa League.
I think we've got a good chance of beating Forest as well. So 6 points, and I don't fear playing Man United. I don't fear them at all. I'm going to go 7 points out of the 3 games.
Be over the moon with that.
I'm going to go
9.
No, 9 I'd love, obviously. As a fan,
he's going to go 8, something we can't even physically get.
8.3.
He's going to go, I would love 9, but realistically, it's going to be 7.
Yeah, I know. Well, 7, but slightly different from Wayne. I see us beating Villa comfortably. I see a draw at Forest, only because of roofs. And I see us beating Man United because most of my mates around here are Man United fans. So it's just nice.
You're manifesting it.
It's just nice.
I like your reason. I like your reasoning behind for that one. It's good.
So no, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking 7. And let's be fair, lads, if we're talking about getting 7 points in the next 3 games, even if it's 5 points, 4 points, 7 points, whatever it is in the next 3 games. We're already we're already well on our way to that 40 points that we all think.
Get that, Mike, we get to that. No team with 11 points after 10 games has never been relegated. That's the start.
Why do you say these things? Why do you say these things out loud?
Because we're only on game fucking 4.
I was going to say, to be fair, like, I think apparently the stat is that if you get 8 points from the first 5 games, at least you don't go down. Apparently, is it 11 points in the first 10 games, whatever it is? Then you have an 85% chance of staying up. Just to point out, that's from the YouTuber Alt Ending, and I'd recommend you subscribe to him. His content absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, brilliant.
So yeah, but that's what I think. I think it was Alt Ending who said it. But yeah, I mean, look, watch it. We'll be 2-0 down against Villa, then we'll come back to draw 2-2, and I'll go, well, we've got 8 points from 5 games, so we're safe.
Weirdly, the Forest game actually, them sacking their manager and getting another one actually plays into our hands a little bit. They were a bit more of a counter-attack, long ball sort of game under Nuno, and under Ange, they're very high line, in your face, attack, which is going to suit us playing away down to the ground. Yeah, to sort of soak up this pressure and hit them on quick counter-attacks. So if we can create those chances for them, it actually suits us as a game better than probably the other 2.
John W says 3 points from the next 3 is still really good considering the points you already have.
I wouldn't be against that either.
Yeah,
no, to have 10 from 7 would still be good.
If you have 10 by the October international break, I think it's still pretty good.
Yeah.
Speaking of the international break, just a quick bit that came up today. It's kind of old news because it was agreed a while ago, but it's coming in place. From 2026, the September window will be extended to 3 weeks, allowing nations to play up to 4 matches in that spell. The October break will be removed entirely, and the November break will stay the same as it is. A longer break in September, I don't think that's good for any team having that much time out. What do you think of that, Wayne?
It's crazy. For me, you can get rid of internationals altogether because it's the most boringest thing. I didn't even watch them now. Once upon a time, when England were playing, you're passionate, you want to see them do well, but now I didn't even watch them. And it's just more of a hindrance. The season just gets started and you're breaking again, and that for 3 weeks is just absolutely crazy. Why not play it before the season?
Yeah. There's loads of time off season. It's not like it's all like in a cooler climate or anything like that. It's all over the world, right?
If there's no tournaments to play, then just play them in the off season. I just didn't get it.
Yeah.
I worry more now with it because we actually have players playing for these international teams, which means there's a lot more chance that our players, our assets, come back injured or come back not fit or slight, problems. remember when we had Kenwyn Jones and I think they went for a game at the end of the season, England versus Trinidad.
Yeah.
And then he was out for like the first 6 months of the next season for us because he'd picked up that injury. And you're just like, well, that didn't need to happen. You were playing a meaningless friendly at the end of May. Like, what was that about? And yet this is like, right, we're setting up our team. This is great. Alderete could go and break his leg for Paraguay. And then it's like, great, right, now we've got to wait 3 months and see if we can get Lucchini in, and they know that we'll be after him. Yeah. And then you go, Talbi, Adingra, you're sitting there going like, wasn't once Sessegnon's flight delayed back from Benin where he was, and he just wasn't back in time for a game. And you're just like,
took him almost a week to get back, didn't it?
I don't actually want to have to deal with this. Like, can we just have no players that are internationals? I don't know how that works if they're that good, but
get them all to retire.
Isidor's now going to go to Haiti every bloody 3 weeks, and I'm like, Jesus, I don't want you getting injured at the minute. Like,
can we time it all together? Can we time it all together at least? So can we tell the AFCON people in 2 years' time to do it in the same window?
Same window.
Can you play within an entire tournament within 3 weeks? Yeah.
Michael, what do you think of the international changes? I mean, some might say 2 breaks is better than 3 breaks, but then you've got that extended period in September. What's your thoughts?
I don't like international breaks at the best of times. I mean, the only way I don't mind them is that I'm not stressed over Sunderland football and on a weekend. But yeah, it's dull as dishwater, isn't it? Though I don't get us wrong. I mean, I think if you're looking at it from the perspective of say League One and League Two clubs, because I don't think they would have the 3-week break. That would get more. You should get more coverage on like Sky Sports and stuff like that. But yeah, 3 weeks. Do we really need like 3? Are we gonna have like the whole of a World Cup or Euro qualifier group stage played in that time? Like, I just don't understand it. So yeah, no, I'm pretty much what the other two have said, really.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to bring it up because it's news, and obviously we'll still be Premier League next season, and we'll have even better players. So that's why it's relevant.
It'll still affect the Championship next season.
We'll be glad of the break, Mike. We'll be in Europe, so we'll be glad of the break.
Yeah,
potentially. There you go. So always seeing the silver line.
We're starting around later in the Carabao Cup as well because we're in Europe, so it's fine.
Right, coming up to the Villa game, just as we come towards the end, lineups, as well as the question that was brought up in the chat. I think it was you, Wayne, about should Talbi be dropped as well. So we'll ball that in together. Wayne, what's your lineup for this upcoming game?
I just think that at the minute, Talbi hasn't quite settled in yet. I mean, I think he has improved with every game, but I just think he's still not at the level that he needs to be. So for me, for Sunday, it'll be the same kind of back four midfield. Up front, I would probably change it. I would probably have Isidore on the left. I would put Adingra on the right, and I would have Mienda in up front.
Conrad, why are you looking like one of the bouncers from Hale and
He's thinking
back there, looking really angry about Wayne's lineup.
What on earth are you talking about?
I was trying to think of who he was going through, and then I was trying to read the comments, and I haven't got my glasses on, so I was trying to shut this eye without looking like I was doing that and going like, "What's he saying?" So, and then I didn't realise I was just sat here looking like a mean bastard the whole time. I'll sit forward a bit.
Right, you concentrate on looking happier. We'll get Michael's first. Michael, what's your lineup? Is there any changes for this week?
The only one I could maybe see is Isidore for Mayenda or Brobby. Whether it's Brobby or Mayenda, I don't know. But I think the striker will change. I think Isidore is. I think I get Wayne's point about Isidore on the left. I think personally Isidore is a bit better up front, but I think that will be off the bench rather than starting. So I would say exactly the same, and I'll throw him spanner in the mix. I think Brobby gets his first start. I think he'll start up front, but apart from that, it'll be the same 11 as Palace.
You think he's fit
or
enough?
Same other 10 rather.
You think he's fit enough?
I don't know. You have to ask.
Right, you do 60.
Like get 60 minutes out of him.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, maybe. I mean, yeah. And it could be that Mayenda might be better coming off the bench as well. So, I don't know. It'll be one of Brobby or Mayenda, but I'm going to go Brobby just to say a lineup.
Okay. Conrad?
I think we stick with the same team that we put out. I think that's what will happen. I think he'll stick with the exact same team that went out against Palace. If it was me and I knew Enzo still wasn't going to play, I would probably, like you say, be inclined to move Isidore out left and then probably put Robbie or Mayenda on. Probably Mayenda because he's already started this season. But there is something quite fun about throwing in the unknown Robbie against them just to sort of go, you can't prepare for him because you have no idea what he's actually like. But then again, it's, do we know enough of what he's like and how he's going to play? So I think he'll stick with the same.
Mayenda and Robbie.
Well, there was something they said the other day. He was open to changing it for two attackers. Although when we've seen him ever play two attackers, it's been some of the worst football he's played while he's been as a manager. So I kind of hope not at the moment. But I think he'll stick with the same Palace lineup.
Cool. It's good to see. Let's get some.
What about yours?
I get
to ask the questions.
Come on. He thinks Mbappe on the right and Duda
right,
on the
so
left.
somebody mentioned in the chat. Sorry, it was very early on the chat. That Enzo's out for another week apparently. Somebody also predicted Ballard on the bench.
They said Ballard's probably going to be fit for the bench.
Yeah, he's probably be on the bench sort of thing. So I don't think I would make any changes to last week's team apart from I would start Mayenda over Isidore. I genuinely think he's a off the bench striker until he proves me wrong. He might also be the problem we have. I think when Isidore's up front, we launch these balls over. He likes it, even though he's like 13.5 foot tall. He likes it down to feet. He likes to run through on them. Right,
Yeah.
And that's what he's good at. We remember the meep meep run from one end of the pitch to the other, and that's what he's good at. But I just think he'd probably benefit having two up front. Like,
but then maybe that's where maybe that's where we throw Robbie in because they do swing these crosses in, and Mayenda doesn't often get on the end of them, and Isidore, like we say, doesn't get on the end of them. Maybe it's a case of actually let's chuck him in, see if he's willing to throw himself on the end of this, and just even if he misses a chance or two from it, at least you go, well, he's getting on the end of it, or he's willing to do it. But
I'd like to start with what we know, and with Mayenda up front his own, and then bring Isidore or Robbie on as a second striker, not move him round and play him on the left or move him out to the right. That's when we go to two up front if we need to, if we're pushing for an extra. And that's when you see if that works, rather than starting at a 4-4-2 or something like that.
He doesn't change his systems at mid-game, Labrie, not unless... Even when we were 3-0 down to Coventry, he doesn't. So, I know what you're saying, and it would be nice, especially at home and when we need to win those games, that he was like, it's 0-0. Actually, let's go for it. But I think we're also early enough to know that even a point on the board in any game at the minute is still better than nothing.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, when I spoke to the West Ham, the Villa guy yesterday, he says Matty Cash is their weak link at right back, and he says they have been struggling when the teams have played a high press against them. So if we can get that high press going on Sunday...
Adingra and Siddiqui on that side for him then.
I mean, we did that in the first half against Palace. We pressed them high. If we can get that gun early against Villa, then we might put them under pressure.
Yeah, if you've got Reynaldo... Go on, sorry, Mike.
No, so I was just going to quickly say, also remember as well that Labrie is quite pragmatic as well. He's not someone that just sticks to one way of play. I mean, he'll have his sort of preferred way of playing, but if that is what Villa struggle against, then I'll be very surprised if we don't try to exploit that on Sunday.
Yeah.
And I think what we're saying before, Reynaldo, Siddiqui and Adingra, if it is Cash, will be absolute units on that left. That's an old
comment from Casual Observer. I remember that. That was brilliant.
Will be absolute units on that left side in trying to force an error from Cash then.
All of Villa.
Yeah, haven't they got an injury crisis, Villa? Or am I making that up?
It sounds like it. Ian seems to agree with you on that. That's
Harvey Elliott's fit. That's about it. I saw we played the other night.
Well, yesterday they were saying the Morgan Rogers looks like he's playing like doesn't want to know. He's been awful at the start of the season. Watkins missing chances. Harvey Elliott played last night, so I'm guessing he for me would be the danger man on Sunday. Like if he's playing, I like him a lot. I think
their midfield looked fairly not. They against Everton, it did look like they were playing 4-5-1 here, but they still had McGinn. I don't know who this Bogarde is, but then they still had Rogers, Tielemans, and Buendia.
That's still a good team. That
Tielemans got took off at half time. Didn't
they're missing who's up there. Is it Abubakar Kamara?
Yeah.
And obviously they sold Ramsey. And then Elliott came on later on. But don't forget, they've still got Marlon on the bench.
Quisson for 30 million, didn't they? So
yeah, he's there. And then Sancho as well. So they're not short of midfield players. I think it's just probably the big one, Kamara, is missing for them by the looks of it.
Perfect time to tell us your score prediction, Wayne.
I'm going for 2-1 to Sunderland.
2-1 to Sunderland. Michael Bowers?
I'll be sitting on the fence. I'll go for 1-1, but I would take that now if I was offered
The
it.
Jack Ross special.
Absolutely. But the difference is we're in a league where 1-1 draws are probably quite decent, not in League One.
Conrad?
Not drawing 1-1 to Scunthorpe United.
Jesus. Or playing Accrington Stanley 5 times in a season. I think I'm going to nick it 1-0. We win 1-0, I think. Just it's probably going to be a very, very, very tight game for us. I think Villa will be desperate not to lose, considering how they've started. But I think probably another till the end, 85 plus minutes.
And they've got a European game after us, haven't they? They're playing Bologna.
They're playing tomorrow against Bologna. So we can all look at John Lucchini again.
Yeah.
And midweek next week on Tuesday or Wednesday, they've got a
I hate
Carabao
to
Cup
burst
game.
I think they played Brentford in the Cup yesterday. I don't
That's
think
right,
they play
they did.
Europe this week. I think they play Bologna
Europe next week.
Bologna next week after
Bologna
us.
next
They've
week.
got this weird thing where some teams are playing in Europe this week and some next week. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's sort of split up. So yeah, it's that they've played Brentford yesterday and then it's Bologna after us. So, but they'll be desperate to try and do well in that. It's their first European game in it. So, got to take.
What was your score prediction? I lost it and all that.
I said 1-0.
Stop stealing my predictions. No.
Yeah.
Ever the pessimist. I'm going to go 4-0 to Sunderland. We're going to smash the West Ham result, shock everyone, shock and awe. It's going to be an absolute trouncing in there. Midfield's going to suffer. You watch, heard it here first, don't forget.
Every single person in this chat, any Villa fans potentially watching, you know who to go to after Sunday.
If you want to come and abuse me after the fact, please subscribe to Black Cat
He doesn't
TV.
read the comments. I read them all and I send them to him. I go, look at what this person called you.
Do you know what's appropriate right now? You know the Eddie Hearn clip? Ooh, how convenient.
Yeah. I don't know. I think after the game, it's the clip of Eddie Hearn where he looks at his phone and sees me and goes, "Oh, fuck off."
Oh yeah, we just goes like, "Oh, fuck off."
Yeah.
So he just says it. He just like whispers it. Oh, it's brilliant.
Get your score predictions in the chat quickly now, and we'll have a see what you guys are thinking as well along the same lines. We did miss one question, so I'll quickly go back to that from Leighton Mills. Should we sell Pato? I think we should cash in on him. Blondie looks more athletic and more adequate to be our number 2. Thoughts on that?
I'm not sure on the second bit personally.
Yeah. Having seen him when we were at Hebburn and we watched him.
Yeah,
Michael. Yeah, we were. Yeah.
I mean, with Pato again, purely from the fact again, it's a PSR thing. It's pure profit, and also if Roofs is coming in and we've been ruthless about it, then I think. Yeah, exactly. That was so not intentional. With Pato, I think we've got to remember at the point, is it fair to stop him playing games as well? Because I think he's a top-end championship keeper, but I don't think he's any better than that, if I'm honest. The elements of his game that are lacking, Roofs has got them in abundance by the looks of it. So, yeah if you've got around 10 million, something like that, then remember, I think he's under contract till, I'll have a check here, but I think he's under contract for another 3 years. So, I think if you get a good amount of money, I think you take it. And also, it's fair to him to let him play games.
Wayne, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm a Mike. I think that £10 million ballpark, I think he's been linked with a few teams at the start of the season. I think for me, he's not good enough for Premier League. His footwork and his kicking nowhere near good enough for Premier League level. So I think we should cash in on him 100%. But only for decent money. If it's like 2 or 3 million, then no. He's under contract. We don't need to sell him, so it's got to be for the right price. But if we get that 10 million mark, then yes, I would. I wouldn't be adverse to getting rid of him.
Just to quickly add to that, he's under contract.
Talking to you, Mike.
Stop drinking. We'll see. He's under contract. He's under contract till 2028. So here's another one. It could be Matty Young comes in and he's number 2, because then you're still filling the English quarter, aren't you? But just put it out there.
Conrad.
Yeah,
we need a certain amount of homegrown players for Europe, though.
Exactly. Well, there you are, Matty Young. I'd sell him. I think maybe now that we've mentioned it as well, do you reckon we're waiting in January to see the likes of Neil, Patterson and Sirkin where we're going to be next season, where we're looking at, rather than sort of selling them all off and then going, actually, if we do go down, all these other players will want to leave and then we've got nobody. So that could be one. So yeah, if we're doing all right, I think they'd probably think let's cash in and get some money back. I don't think Simon Moore's terrible. I think he's a fine number 2. Like I'd be quite happy with that. He's definitely better than Blondie. Like 100%. But like you say, I think Matty Young won't be long before he's sort of being called in to be the number 2, really.
That would still be a nice dynamic to have, though, as for goalkeepers. Roofs, who's clearly your number 1, Moore, who's experienced and we've seen him come in and he can be a number 2, and Blondie, who's got that potential and that athletic thing that can learn from these
Matty
two.
Young.
So, either way, but it's still a nice. I think even selling him, I think would still be in a good position. If he wants to stay, great. It's a good number 2 to have, but still. Steve said 2-0. SJ said 1-1. Marco said 3-1. Tam says 2-0. 3-0 says John. On my wavelength is John.
You said 4.
Hewitt, I know he's getting there. He's on my wavelength. He's just a bit more.
He's a bandwidth underneath you.
Anyone that predicts an emphatic victory is close to Mike's wavelength.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the
Anybody on crack?
Else, well. Now you know why I live near Manchester.
Yeah.
Whoever's supplying Mike with all this cocaine, stop it.
And Casual Observer conjure up a good 2-0 scoreline. 1-0 with Xhaka scoring, says Lax as well. Before we go and end, we're all broadcasting to different channels and everything. So Wayne, do you want to very quickly just tell them about your channel?
Yes, Only Fools and SCFC, top of the screen there. Do pretty much the same as everybody else, really. Match reviews, match previews, and it's all good fun, good bit banter. So if you don't mind, head across there and just give us a like and a subscribe, and we'll keep doing our best to make us happy.
And Sky Sports Superstar.
Well, we're not going that far yet. We're not getting that far yet.
Getting there.
Michael Bowers, would you like to tell them all about your channel?
Sure. If you want to watch someone waffle about we don't keep enough clean sheets, even though we've kept 2 and 4, then just watch my channel. Certainly. I try to put my videos up as quick as possible, so my reactions are kind of like right off the cuff and nowhere near as well edited as say Wayne's will be or Mike and Conrad's will be or anything like that. But it's competently enough edited, and yeah, if anyone who's watching other channels wouldn't mind subscribing, that would be great. Of course, if you think I've earned it, and yeah, thanks very much to you guys for having me on.
Brilliant.
Awesome. Conrad, can you sell our channel to these guys' audience?
Yeah, well, we're infinitely better. No, not at all. We're very much playing catch up with these two legends who've kindly agreed their time to do this as a sort of joint venture with us. So if you're from our channel and you're not subscribed to one of them, please do go over and do that. We do a lot of the similar content. We all talk about the same thing that we love, and that's all we do really. And even this, we've been going for pretty much the length of an entire football game now, including halftime, and I've not been bored for any bit of it. So thank you all for joining, and we'll see you next week if you want to see another one.
Yeah, come and watch our stream. I'm really positive, and you get to see Conrad with his head in his hands. If you don't believe me, watch.
Can you just tell that Mike was waiting to do that?
Been waiting.
Right, we've lost all our subscribers. All the subscribers have gone. Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean I'm on 0 subscribers from 6,000?
Robbie scoring at the weekend. That's the celebration.
Fine. You can do it if he scores. I've not got a problem with it. Just let him do something first.
Just to add another Eddie Hearn clip, right? So when he plays Mr. Blobby, Conrad needs to go. That was it. Now dishes. Hold on. No. I'm not having this. I'm not having it.
Or if he does score, I have to do the Eddie Hearn. Oh, go on then.
Wayne, would you like to say goodbye to our millions of viewers?
Yes, thanks for watching. Thanks to everybody who's tuned in. I don't know how many we ended up watching, Mike, but thanks to everybody who's tuned in. Everybody who's put in the comments. It's been a great show. Always good catching up with these three. The banter's always class. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next week.
Conrad, would you like to say goodbye?
Yeah, cheers for joining. I think, Wayne, we peaked at about 130, 140 at a time. So, cheers, everybody. We're doing this each week now. So, yeah, share it out to everyone you know. And, yeah, see you next week.
Michael?
Yeah, likewise. See you all next week. I'm sure we'll come up with more ways to get Mr. Blobby on screen and talk about Eddie Hearn. But yeah, it's been pretty good. Yeah, sorry, Conrad. But yeah, it's been very good. No, it's been a good first episode of this, and I look forward to doing more of these. And it's good. I think we worked well together based on tonight. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for suggesting it.
Thank you, everyone who's watching. I do really appreciate it. Thanks for these three experts in football and putting up with me just because I'm here and
Super Sky Sports Wayne.
Dragged along by my coattails.
Mike, we're putting up with you saying we're going to be in Europe. How can I possibly not?
Exactly.
Oh, I like listening
I'll be
to
singing
it.
my praises at the end of the season. Let me say goodbye in peace. Stop bullying me. Thanks, everyone, for watching. See you in the next one. Goodbye.